Hey, so are you messy or neat? With your money, that is. Hi, Dan Sisek here, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about money and how managing or mismanaging your money can make a difference with you and your business and life in general. First, the biggest single difference between financial success and financial failure is how you manage your money. Being an accountant and having a degree in accounting, I know very well how that works and understand that very well. Working and dealing with millions of dollars that I've dealt with in the past and handling that and reconciling and seeing where it goes and understanding that, I understand that. But there's a whole big different mindset because in business is a different mindset than when it's you personally and when you're involved with it personally. You know, as opposed to poor people, rich people, companies, business, things like that. I'm specifically today going to be talking more about uh, not that everybody's poor or anything, but poor people and the aspects of it, and rich people and how people view some of those things and things like that. I've talked about money before in some of my blogs and things like that, but right now I'm in the midst of reading a book right now by T. Harv Eker. It's called The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, Mastering the Inner Game of Wealth. As you can see, here it is right here. Great book. You can see where I've got my page marked from the chapter I read last night. And it talks about this principle, about one of the wealth principles and how you deal with that. Um, Poor people mismanage their money or to avoid the subject of money altogether. I've done this. I've been there. Sounds funny being an accountant, but yes, I've been there. A lot of people don't like to manage money because they say it restricts them. I understand that because I get into that mindset when it's me personally. They don't have enough money to manage, so they don't really think they need to or have to worry about it. But in response to the first one I talked about, people don't like to manage their money. Um, Money, and when they say that being restrictive, it actually does restrict you in ways because then you don't go out and do the things you really want to because you're tied into this tunnel vision of, I don't have the money. Whereas if you think the opposite direction or change your perception of, money and that you manage it, then it opens up the availability to say, hey, I know where my money's going. I know where it's about. I know what I've done with it. And here I am. I know I can spend this money. The other part to the second part is answering question that they don't have enough money to manage anyway. Well, if they manage their money, they would have the money and know where the money is and where it's going. And once again, I have done that. I've been there. Um, this is something I call into, or what I told people when I talk to people and stuff, as an analogy I've used. I've heard the saying, and I don't know if you have, but they say doctors make their own worst patients. Well, accountants sometimes make their own worst bookkeepers because one of the things that gets in the way for us is the personalness. When it's somebody else's money, it's easier to handle it and tell somebody else no, they don't have the money to spend it or to be able to use it. But when it's your money and it's yourself, it's like, no, I worked, I earned, it's my money, I'm going to spend it how I want to, and oh well, you know. But in essence, you're still limited, and those are things you might have picked up from when you were growing up or people you were, learning from teachers, others. School system, I don't think they teach great enough education in the value of personal money handling. We deal with it for business out in the business world, but we don't deal with it more from a personal aspect. I wish it would be done. Um, my mom did her best in trying to teach us, but once again, she was taught what she learned. So I learned what I learned from her. Not saying she's wrong, not saying she's right. She's actually quite good with her money. But there must have been something in the disconnect, or maybe I didn't pick up everything exactly right, and yet I love the accounting process. I love the aspect of it, but for me, it's hard to come in and pull it away. Um, Now, in those experiences, I've been involved with business, dealing with millions of dollars. Another thing, when I was in my fraternity, I dealt with money in the fraternity and handled and was the treasurer because of being an accounting student. And so, therefore, and I was good. I was able to say, no, we don't have the money to spend this for this party or for that fundraiser or for that event. Sometimes I got overruled by the, voting body of the fraternity and my brothers in the fraternity. Sometimes they say, listen to me and say, oh, we don't have the money for this. Okay, we need to do a fundraiser so we can have the money. Those type of things. But in this book, T. Harv Eker, in The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, once again, the book that I'm reading, he talked about, a parent taking their kid into the ice cream store, getting a scoop of ice cream on the cone and walking out, and kid having small hands and having troubles with it, losing the ice cream, so they had to go back in to get another ice cream to replace it. But on the way back in, the kid saw a picture of a three scooper, and he wanted that one, and I want that. And most parents, while they would want to give their child the three scoop because it would make them happy, make them feel good, but in the long run, knowing about how the handling and dealing with the prior single cone, you know, why would they get the triple cone just to set them up to fail? Well, that's kind of how I feel. Some parts of things with money handling have been handed down generation to generation. Nobody's at fault in that sense because they just learn what they've been taught as from what others down the generation taught them. But that's part of where we got to change the mindset. The T. Harv Eker talks about a wealth principle about until you can handle what you've got, you won't get any more. And I'm learning to understand that. And going through my personal journey of trying to get a better handle on my money, I'm involved in a program that is helping me to disassociate my feelings from my money, but at the same point, understand where my money is going, breaking it down into money in this account, money in this, to pay out bills and stuff like that, and how to pull away the personal aspect of it, but looking at it from an objective point of view, just like I do in work and business. It's hard. It's still a journey. It's still a mind-changing process here, but I'm getting in that emotion and going through the steps and process, and it's going to take a long time because I've learned these processes and dealt with them over my life. So it's not easy to just change a lifetime of doing things. It takes taking the steps, learning, building, growing from there. That's what the program I'm in. In his book, he talks about the financial freedom account, a way of how to set up and a way to work towards your financial freedom. I'm working towards my financial freedom by building my business and setting up my business and my goals, and I'm doing my progress with and my journey with my financial side of it, getting a better understanding and handle on that, along with building this business. But in that chapter, the financial freedom account, he says take 10% of every dollar after taxes and set it in this account. And that is not to be touched ever unless you're going to invest it. Invest it in your business, or invest it in the stocks, or invest it somewhere where you get a return for that money. It's not to be spent. There's a difference. Investing is where you will get a return on the money that you put in, but you don't spend that money. You get a return on top of this money, and it comes back to you. That's what he's talking about. He also talks about 10% for long-term savings. That's a long-term goal that you have for retirement, for things like that. Once again, you can also do this in a investing type idea. Invest it with the idea that you're not going to touch it till you retire or till your business takes off and you have passive residual income, which is what I'm working towards. The other part is 10% for education. Just because I'm working towards becoming financially free and free from having to have a job and go out and go to a job, I'm working free to where I can go and do what I want to do. But it doesn't mean I still want to stop learning, doing things. There are things that I need to do for my business. So I need to educate and learn, and that takes money and time for that. So investing in that, that's another type of investing, putting that money towards education. Then he says to put 50% aside for necessities. That's the everyday living. That's the day-to-day bills and stuff and things like that. Now, it might be hard in the beginning because you will probably see still more money going out than you see coming in. But as you build that habit and get into it, it will become easier and easier and easier. As in the book, he said this one gal, she started with $1. $1 and built it up, and the next month she built it from $2, and she spread that dollar in between these 5 accounts, separated it out. But then she thought, well, how the heck am I going to get financially free? But then she doubled the next month to $2. Then she doubled the next month to $4. And so it grew and progressed on to that stage to where in like 2 years she was pretty financially free at that point, and she had money going towards it, and she was able to invest and bring money in to the tune of about $10,000. If you'd like to get more about that, I suggest you get the book and read this book. It's very mind-opening, very convicting in some ways, because it's convicted me about some things and how I look and deal with money. And then the last one, he talks about the 10% give account. Oh, I missed one account, but I'll cover that in a minute because I think it's the most important in a roundabout way. The give account is the account where you help give to other people to help pay back, to show them, give them the means and stuff to start showing you what you have and what you've achieved, and help them to build their dreams. But last one is the 10% play account. This is where I think a lot of people go wrong, and this is where I've gone wrong, because I feel that if I don't have the money, I can't go out and do the things I want to do. But if you have that play account where that money, and in the book he stresses that that money is supposed to be spent and used every month, whether it be like you just go out for a hamburger or a hot dog or something like that, or if it's more upscale or something, if you're at that point where you have more money to be able to go. But it's meant to placate and help satisfy that need to go out and spend and do and have fun, so that way it offsets and helps with the saving and investing and putting the money into your business and your time and your future. I think these are some great key things. He goes into a little more detail in the book. I think I've just covered a few things, but I hope you got some value out of this. If you'd like to learn more about what I'm about, check out the link below, as I've said before. And thank you. Have a nice day.